Hey you guys, this is Josh. It is a misty Saturday morning, late in September, and it is chicken harvesting day. It is time to prepare them for the freezer, and it is going to be a big day. We've got over 200 chickens to process today. Now, we have never done this many chickens. We've done 125 in a day, and that is usually a large day, big day. We've got some new equipment from Featherman Pro. Really excited about that. A new plucker that can handle 4 birds and a scalder that's really going to make all the difference. And so we're really excited to see how this is going to go. We're thankful that we've got some additional help coming, and so we're going to see what we can get done and see if we can do 200 plus in a day. So when you're butchering chickens, there are several things that you want to have on hand to make things go smoothly. Okay, you want your killing cones. If you can see in the background right there, those are killing cones. We have those on a turnable rack. You can just build, like we've done before, a rack out of 1x4. How many you need is just going to depend on how many chickens you're butchering, but you want your killing cones. Okay, then you need a scalder. We've got a Featherman Pro here. Traditionally, we have just used a propane burner with an old pot or small barrel, and you want your water up around 150 degrees roughly. You then need a plucker. Hopefully you're not going to do it by hand. I mean, if you got a few, that's pretty easy. We've done a whole lot by hand. That's a lot of work. And the first upgrade you want to do if you're starting to do a lot of chickens every year is a good plucker. So you need that plucker. Then you need some tables. You can see right here we've got a couple tables, good sharp knives. We've got some down below. Those buckets are going to catch our waste that will go into a bigger can, and we'll tell you later how we handle all of that. And then these here are going to catch the products that we're going to use, like the necks, the feet. We actually use the feet and the livers and the heart, and maybe the gizzards. Sometimes things move too fast to mess with the gizzards, but maybe we'll get those, maybe we won't. And of course you need a couple tables. We just use these foldable plastic tables. They're great. Just make sure that you clean them really well. You can see Rachel back there. She's getting them all scrubbed up right now with hot soapy water. We obviously want everything as clean as possible. And then you need a chill tank. Because we're doing so many this year, we have bought a large 300-gallon chill tank, but we have used everything from barrels, clean food grade barrels like these guys right here. These aren't food grade, but we're just using them for tables, but clean food grade barrels, or water troughs cleaned out. Those make great chill tanks. If you're just doing a few, a big ice chest works as well. But it's really important as you move through the process to cool those birds down and really get them cooled down into the 40s, 40-degree temperatures before you wrap them up and head them towards the freezer. And then over there you can see we're cleaning the last table. That is the area where we will wrap them. We like the shrinkable bags. It's just fast, it's easy. Put the chickens in them, you dunk them in hot water, and that shrinks around them. They seal very well, and they last in the freezer a really long time. This is quite a production, and it's gonna be fun to see how this goes. I'm gonna jump in here and help everybody get ready, and we're gonna start before too long. So here's a little tip on your cones. If you spray them down with some olive oil or a little vegetable oil, it makes the cleaning much easier. So we just take some olive oil. We don't really use a lot of vegetable oil. Mix it up with some warm water, and you can just spray this down, and we just got one of these tubs for catching everything. You can do the same. You can spray it, just whatever it is, and it is going to make the cleaning way easier. Now, you want your chickens as close as can be. You don't feed them the night before. You want them to be empty of feed all the way through their digestive system. It makes for much cleaner processing. And then depending on your setup, you may not be able to get your chicken tractors close. We've actually gotten ours right up here close to the area, and so we're gonna pull right from them. For a lot of folks, your chicken tractors are out on the property somewhere, and so then you've got to have some cages or something to bring in your chickens and pen them as you're starting the process. Bunker looks like it's working pretty good.
Yeah, it's working great.
Coming out of the plucker. Then we take off the feet, the head, and the necks.
I get out of order.
Now we save all of the feet and the necks. Those are going to go into a bone broth. Ladies over here are doing a great job eviscerating, cleaning. All the livers and hearts go back into the cavities before going back into the chill tank back there. Honey, what are you going to do with all the fat? We're getting a lot of extra fat out of these birds.
Yeah, I'm going to render it down for cooking.
You're going to render it down for cooking, all right.
Potatoes cooked in poultry fat. So.
Ooh, sounds good. Now you got to chill them. So they go into the chill tank and they'll sit here until we get ready to wrap. What do you think, Anna? Jacket going on all right there? Is it cold? A little bit, not too much. You're going to keep your water warm. Well, you guys, it has been quite a day. We just are almost done with 150 chickens. I think it's almost 4 o'clock and we're really jamming along. We're so thankful for all the help we've had today. And we've got 75 more to go. Let's see if we can do it. So right now we are getting the chickens all wrapped. What do you call these bags, honey?
Poultry shrink bags.
Poultry shrink wrap bags. And they're coming out of the cooler. Matter of fact, they're all out of the cooler now. And they go into the dunker right here and do about 190-degree weather.
Water,
right. We don't need 190-degree weather.
No.
Yeah, and they get dunked real quick. That pushes all the air out of them, and then zip tied.
I'll tighten it for you.
And weighed so far, honey, what's our average bird weight so far today?
I'd say overall the average bird weight is 7 pounds.
Woo, 7 pounds. Yeah, we've done about 150 so far today. So quick math, that is 300, 900, over 1,000 pounds so far.
Yeah, with
already.
Only 2/3
wow.
done.
Well, it is 6:30. We've been going since about 7:30 since we started killing, and we've got about 8 more left to butcher, and then we're gonna finish wrapping them up, shrink wrapping them. This has been an amazing day. These guys back here, everybody working so hard. We're almost there. Hang with us for a little bit, and we'll show you the ground total when we're done.
Last one!
Yay!
Last one!
Last one! Last one!
Yeah!
Wow, I'm exhausted. It has been a long day, and we are almost done. We've got over 200 chickens. We don't know the final count yet, but can you believe that? We did it. We got them all done in one day. So I've got to fill the freezers, and we're probably going to tally them tomorrow. But it's going to be exciting to see what the final number is, and I'm just super stoked that we've got this done. Well, that was an exciting day.
That was a busy, long day.
That was a busy, long day. I think that was 12 hours
Yeah.
of processing chickens, and we got rain off and on all
day.
And we weren't under roof. We did come up with one little solution for the ladies.
We did.
And that was fun. As you guys saw, some people were in black ponchos.
Trash bags.
Hey, you got to be creative
Yeah.
sometimes. Trash bags made into ponchos, but it worked great.
It actually worked really well. Even when I was undercover, I turned a trash bag into an apron, and it was so nice. I didn't get wet anymore from the hose and from all the processing. So that was a good way to go.
And a lot cheaper than all the aprons, which would be wonderful to have. But
Those are nice.
We upgraded with some great Featherman Pro tools.
The equipment.
This year.
Yes.
Yes, the dunker.
Yes.
The scalder dunker and the plucker, and that made all the difference.
Yes,
So
that was a really big step forward.
we ended up with 211 chickens. I think the most we've done 125 or 150, somewhere in there, and that was with a whole nother family, and dunking by hand,
Yeah.
just hand dunking one at a time. And really, really great day. So we're loving the Feather Pro equipment.
Yes.
And that chill tank was really nice too, 300-gallon chill tank.
Really
so
good.
that helped make it happen. But you know what? Who really made it happen was our guests that came.
Yeah, we had some volunteer help, and boy, did we appreciate it.
So our neighbor Doreen, you were awesome.
Yeah.
She came early and
She
stayed
hung the whole
until
day.
the last. And I think she got the last word in too.
I
Here
think
just
she did.
a minute
Yeah,
ago.
she did. Yeah.
And last bird done.
Right.
And she was taking the last steps.
Yep, and
So-
Sharon and Glenn came up and helped. Thank you guys so
They
much.
drove
It was great
2 hours
to come work
to
in the
come
rain.
kill chickens in the rain for over 8 hours. You guys rock.
Yeah. We had some good
And-
laughs. And
Yeah,
lots
we
of
did.
fun.
Had a lot of fun.
And that's one thing, working together on a hard day like that, whether it's just your family or you have guests or other people, it's always a good day together. It's always memorable because you're just stuck there working, and there's an element of misery working that long and that hard. And so together, you know, you just have this great time. It ends up being a lot of fun.
So I guess that's a key tip besides good equipment is doing it together. We've always tried to do it with another family. That family wasn't processing at the same time this year. And so some neighbors, guests, try to do it together. And it makes a day of hard work, just still hard work, but a lot more fun.
So we did 211
211
chickens.
birds.
How much did that turn out 2-pound wise?
Wow. So they averaged 6.5 pounds a bird.
These were big birds.
Yep.
These were really really good. These were the Red Ranger.
You got a Red Ranger Plus?
It's a color plus or something where they had, it's the white feathers at their base. And so if you saw any of our pictures of them while we were raising them, a lot of them had a lot of white in there, and that's because they're kind of downy feathers. The small feathers underneath were white, which helps them look a lot cleaner as a finished
So there
bird.
were some pros to those and some cons. So the pros were they finished out great, 6.5 pound average. Largest bird was 8.5 pounds.
Right.
1 or 2, 4.5 pound birds, but most of them were 5, 6, and 7s, and pretty even spread.
Yeah.
So that was real nice. That totaled 1,388 pounds.
13,
of meat,
almost 1,400 pounds of meat.
Plus
butchered.
the fat that you saved.
Oh, yeah.
And plus necks and feet, which you'll make a broth out of. Hearts and livers are in the bird.
Right.
We don't do the gizzards mostly just because they're a bit more work in processing that amount of birds. They're just hard to get to.
Yeah, they're long.
And I'd like to find a solution for that, but for right now, we pass on those. So over 1,400 pounds of usable meat. And the conversion rate was great. I don't have it by pounds, but cost per bird was $1.38 per bird. I'm sorry,
$1.38 per
per
pound.
pound.
That would be phenomenal.
Oh
if it
yeah,
was
no,
per
that's
bird.
not gonna happen.
Now that's the feed costs, right?
That's the feed cost.
Okay.
Yeah, $1.38 per bird. So that's a really good cost. You
Yeah.
add in the cost of the bird. I don't remember what those were. Do you?
No, I want to say about $2 a bird.
Yeah. So you're under.
You're under about $10 a bird, or right around $10 a bird.
And you were
which
doing
is
a little
for,
research, and for free range quality.
You're easily at a $4 to $4.50 a pound on chicken, and that is whole chicken. So that's not boneless. So that means you're getting the bones and everything. So that converts really well to our numbers, compares to our numbers. So
now, some people on a photo I posted asked about how in the world do we store that? Do we have a walk-in? No, we need a walk-in.
Big
but
freezers.
we have big chest freezers. That took up about a 1.5. They're 21, 22 cubic feet freezers.
Yeah.
So 1.5 of our freezers. And that covers more than half of our annual meat. A lot of you guys know, if you've been following us for a while, we produce all of our own meat, and we need, for our large household and the multi-generations that live here, over 2,000 pounds a year of meat. So in our context, it works great. Most of you don't need to produce that much birds unless you're selling them. Now, there's a couple things that I want to say that were a negative with these particular birds.
Okay, yeah, I was
especially
gonna ask you,
with
the
new equipment. I
Okay.
think the new equipment is engineered to work well with the Cornish crosses, and
because of their body structure?
the body structure is a little different. These birds aren't as round. Their legs are longer and their necks are longer. And so if you're thinking, these birds did great. They put on weight real good. I would maybe go back to just the Red Rangers and try them, just because I felt like the legs were longer with the feet on and the necks, and those were hanging up more in the plucker. So kind of a technical issue, but when you're trying to move through and get that much done.
That's generally true with the Red Rangers too, though, isn't it? Rather than the Cornish are just so like stocky and they don't have any extra
the Cornish
body
are
parts.
probably even better, and that's what most commercial producers
are gonna
use.
do, right.
You know, even free ranging, kind of market style producers are going to use the Cornishes just because they grow a little faster. I like the flavor of the slow growth.
Oh, absolutely.
We enjoy that.
Such good flavor.
We took these to 12 weeks. I think I would go 10, 11. 12 was just
We had a little extra fat in them. They were a little fatty, which is great because as we're eviscerating, if there's extra globs of fat, I always make sure to take it out away from the gizzards and all the other parts on the inside. and set that aside so I can render that and cook with that separately. And
so you're gonna render the chicken fat.
Yes, and cook with that separately. And that is just a gourmet item. You know.
And so particular recipes you're going to use that with, so folks know what they would do with that?
The thing that is just always talked about when you've got this really good chicken fat or any sort of poultry fat is fried potatoes.
Oh,
French fries.
Yeah.
They make the best fries, but really all sorts of things, whatever you would use a lard or anything with.
Well, another thing that went really well this year, you like to save the feet so that you can add that to the next for making a good bone broth. There's a lot of nutrition and a little bit of gelatin in there. And usually that's a real pain. Even the other pluckers that we've had, and with dunking either hand, trying to get those feet scalded and cleaned enough without a big hassle is a real problem. And this Featherman Pro Dunker that we use, that is an auto rotating, the skin on the feet just cleaned off near perfectly.
Almost perfectly.
So very little work now to convert those feet into a stock, a broth that's going to be very useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's we've never been able to save that much.
Anytime the feet come into the house not cleaned, they end up eventually going back out, because it's really hard if you get them in dirty to then go back and get them cleaned up. By the time they've chilled and everything, it's just not quite the same. So this just worked out really well, right in the process of the birds.
And on the other side, that's now 20-30 pounds of feet that are going to go into a good stock, and that's great not to waste that and to be able to process it.
Yeah, we love getting to use as much of any animal that we're processing as we can. And in fact, what about all of the extra parts?
The leftovers. What do you do with the waste of 211 birds? All the offal and the feathers primarily. Yeah. Well, we're composting it.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
I know. They said don't compost your meat. That is nonsense. You can compost it, and
you have to compost it the right way, otherwise you cause problems.
Right, and you want to be very careful, know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I probably won't put this on the veggie garden, though you can compost it well enough to do that.
Sure.
An expert composter can definitely do that. I've seen it done. But we will compost it real well, let it sit for 6 months, and it will be ready for trees, shrubs, food foresty type stuff. And the way to do that is just a lot of carbon. And we've, right out there on the site, we've got tons of wood shavings. Some of you guys saw we brought a lot of those in and mixed it in there. And that will start to break down. Temperatures rising. By tomorrow, that'll be up over 120 degrees.
Oh, wow.
And when you put enough of the wood shavings over it, the dogs don't mess with it, the cats don't, nobody messes with it because it covers it up.
Yeah.
The smell, until it breaks down enough, and then you can mix it. But by then, it has broken down where the animals aren't interested in it. That's everything. There's nothing going to waste here at all.
Yeah, just goes right back into our food system. So very good. I gotta say, I was really impressed that you kept the camera going the whole day. Boy, those days are hard, and videoing is sometimes one of the last things on your mind.
Right, and so it wasn't this. Obviously, you guys now we're at the end of the video, and it wasn't a dedicated tutorial, but we tried to get enough information in there that you could see how this works, and that it would give you some good tips and help you out. And so hope you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we will see you soon.
Goodbye.
Bye.